The Latino American community has served as one of the most crucial backbones for the United States of America for centuries. They have partaken in every aspect of the United States of America's story and way of life, from blue-collar jobs to elected positions in government. Their story, however, is not free from hardship, with racism, economic disparity, and the threat of deportation looming over many innocent lives and their families. The 1930s and 1940s signified a change and a transformative era for the United States and its Latino population. Historical events during this time period include the Great Depression, World War II, and the economic turnaround of the Greatest Generation. Throughout the Great Depression, the anti-immigration movement proliferated and weaponized economic anxiety. Many Mexican Americans were racially targeted by the United States government's deportation efforts, and the perception of the Latino Americans was harshly affected. Latino Americans who endured through the Great Depression suffered rising racial tensions throughout the Second World War and participated in the American economy through the Bracero program, where they faced discrimination, harsh working conditions, and violence. Despite their contributions to the United States, these events overturned previous advances of Latino Americans, such as the development of the unique identity and crucial labor force of the working class. The Great Depression was indiscriminate against those that were affected, but Latino Americans bore some of the heaviest costs the Depression created. One of these costs were the threat of deportation. While white groups weaponized economic uncertainty to create fear and control the narrative on immigration. In Becky Lowe's article, the deportation campaigns of the Great Depression, it highlights the hospital patients were not immune to deportation during the Great Depression, as government entities such as the Los Angeles Welfare Department began deporting hospital patients that were of Mexican descent. This deportation effort was part of the larger Mexican repatriation drive, where the government believed that deporting low-wage immigrants would restart the U.S. economy and break away from the Depression. Estimates say that during the Mexican repatriation drive, officials deported up to 1.8 million people to Mexico. In Little's article, California State Senator Joseph Dunn estimated that around 60% of these people deported were actually American citizens. Raids tore families and communities apart, leaving lasting trauma for immigrants who remained in the United States. In 1942, the Bracero program began. The Bracero program was a bilateral guest worker agreement between Mexico and the United States, allowing 4.5 million Mexicans to be granted legal status to temporarily work in the United States in farms and railroads. While the Bracero's program seemed like an opportunity for immigrants to achieve their American dreams, the reality was deceiving. Living conditions were grim, and the camps were overcrowded and unsanitary. Many workers lacked basic necessities such as clean water and fresh food. Workers' wages were also low, and the government continuously deducted wages while falsely promising to return workers' money when they returned to Mexico or the country of origin. Their promised money never came, and Braceros filed a lawsuit against the United States government, Mexico's government, and the Wells Fargo's bank in 2001. Braceros won and received a dismal $2,000 for each of their hard labor over the 40 years. Tutsi riots occurred as a result of the newly introduced Bracero population of Latino Americans in Los Angeles. In 1943, the trend emerged between Mexican American youths and the zoot suits, a flamboyant style that centered around long coats, baggy pants, and padded shoulders. The outfits were often criticized by groups as unpatriotic since they considered of fabric a material that was used for the war effort. As a result, the tensions increased in the cities as mobs of U.S. servicemen took to the streets and began attacking Latinos and stripping out of their suits, leaving them bloodied and half-naked on the sidewalks. The Zoot Suit riots overshadowed many Latino American advancements and contributions to the United States during World War II. Perception of Latino Americans during the riots was stained, with many Latino Americans painted as failures to American identity throughout the war. The events also highlighted a lack of authority from the United States government to protect communities and groups. The police refused to get involved in enforcing punishment against the sailors, even when asked to by the public. Taxi drivers also fueled the protests and willingly drove sailors across the city to attack any Mexican Americans they found. The attack depicted the racist American point of view on Americans in the Second World War. Despite the Latino Americans' continuous showcase of identity and participation in the economy, the Zoot Suit riots tainted the narrative into a complete disgrace and failure to the identity of the United States.
A federal judge has ruled that hundreds of people detained by ICE during Operation...
Latino Americans continue to face discrimination and injustice today, most noted in immigration and customs enforcement. In Chicago, CBS News reported that ICE had illegally detained over 600 people. Deportations have exponentially increased since the inauguration of the new presidential administration in 2025. These legal actions have resurfaced in the 20th century, showing how little the nation has done to prevent injustice against marginalized groups. Even with a substantial amount of adversity, the people of the Latino community have shown courage and determination through their perseverance. Latino Americans who endured through the Great Depression suffered rising racial tensions throughout the Second World War and participated in the American economy through the Paseo program, where they faced discrimination, harsh working conditions, and violence. Despite their contributions to the United States, these events overturned previous advances of Latino Americans, such as the development of their unique identity and crucial labor force of the working class. Today, the Latino American community is still discriminated against, with their rights violated, families torn apart, and lives ruined. Latino Americans have persevered through the struggle and hardship that has been thrown against them. They are vital to the American story and have proven through history to be one of the most enduring communities the United States has ever seen.